This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always good to see Wally Downes, and always better to be speaking to you, mate. It's been a while, mate. How's things?
It has been a while, mate. It's been a real dearth in British boxing. Anything happening, mate? Like August the 3rd was the last big show. Sam Noakes boxing on Friday night at York Hall. But then probably nothing again until September 21. So we always usually have August off, didn't we, for the school holidays? But yeah, worryingly long break. I guess lots of people waiting around to try and get on the Saudi shows, but hopefully things pick up now. And people like you and me can start doing. Why are you laughing?
No, just no, because it brings me on to a good point of you mentioning that. Like, I think when you do see a lot of boxing going into Saudi Arabia, it's always a concern about the ecosystem or boxing in Britain. Where we see, I think it's since Joyce Chisora, there's been 3 UK shows with two of them being, I guess, like, Frank Warren York Hall shows that aren't necessarily stacked to the rafters, and the other one obviously being Callum Simpson and Zach Chelly. So, is there some concern, do you think?
I wouldn't be concerned right now because of August school holidays. Like, everyone is away, everyone goes on holiday. You put shows on, you don't sell tickets, and that doesn't do anyone any good. And then all the promoters will have probably got their best guys on August 21. Not too much now. And I think we will see a real trickle down. I think not long after September 21, I think Johnny Fisher's September 28. I think there's a Queensbury show in Liverpool. Then I'll be going out to Riyadh for Bivol Beterbiev, October 12th, which has got a great British undercard. So I think we're all right. It's just been, I message my bosses every morning more or less saying, if you want stuff, I've got it. But annoyingly, like in newspapers, everything's really time sensitive. So I got an incredible. Like Chris Eubank spoke to me really well the other day. I got some great chat with Chris. But when I offer it up to my desk, they ask, "Well, what's he fighting on Saturday?" After saying, "Well, no, he's fighting middle of October." So it's not that we're ignoring boxing, but when there's poxy transfer window that people seem to think is some sort of news story, or again cricket, sadly it just overshadows boxing, and just stockpile interviews and try and keep our finger on the pulse.
Absolutely. One thing I guess we'll touch on to now, we're here with Harlem Eubank, ahead of the announcement of his multi-fight deal with Wasserman, obviously re-extending a deal that he was previously at. I think this comes with a lot of, well, maybe not a lot of surprise, but some sort of is a main talking point, because obviously we saw him and Adam Azim do a face-off at the Fabio Wardley Fraser Clark. They spoke about that fight not actually being signed, but in advanced negotiation. So now that fight isn't happening. It does look quite silly. I guess what are your thoughts on that?
Are you going to label this fake fight launch looked silly by Lewis Hart? No. Sorry, that was my. Sorry, yeah. Tax boxer.
No, I'm not at all.
Yeah. Ben, what's he doing to you? Yeah. Listen, when that happened, to announce a fight without a venue and a date, I remember at the time nudging. I think Deck Taylor was next to me, and just thinking that's bizarre. At the time, we just assumed Brighton, because fair play to boxer, they are going to smaller towns and cities and doing football stadiums. So we assumed Brighton. Not having a date was bizarre. Harlem's just explained to me he was completely signed in for a June fight. It was going to be on a Selhurst Park one. Adam got an injury, and now it's dead in the water. It doesn't look good. It's not a good look. It was a perfect fight, really, for the where they two. Dalton Smith's probably moved on a little bit now. What you said, it makes boxer look silly. You said,
that would be that's public opinion. As much as I said it,
the public for your opinion.
No, but I'm just saying, when that is like the public, is it not? Do you know what I mean? Is it not a common sense thing to say?
Just calm down.
Sorry, no.
Absolutely right, mate. If I don't like getting in the promoters mudslinging or this is rubbish. But if Eddie and Frank need a bit of ammo to have a dig at Ben, they've handed it over. He's accidentally handed it over. It was a very good fight for two young prospects coming up, and for it not to be made, it is disappointing. I feel for Harlem, because he's gone into camp 3 times to this fight. That's 3 times of punishing your body, 3 times of spending a lot of money. So I wouldn't go so far as to call Boxer or Ben Shalom personally silly. But yeah, I don't like that happening to fighters. It's not fair to happen to Harlem. So hopefully he can kick on now, and Boxer need to sort something out for Adam Azim.
Absolutely. I did want to move on. As we say, like boxing, boxing's been quite a dry period in August, but we did get some big news. The October 12th, the undercard got announced for a mouth-watering fight at the top of the bill of Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. But the undercard got announced. First female women's world title fight, first female boxing fight in Riyadh season. I guess the undercard as a whole, some great fights on there. And what were your thoughts on it?
I'm glad there's a women's fight over there. I felt it should have been Ellie Scotney first. Ellie's been made to wait way too long for her big fights. Proper little hero of mine, Ellie Scotney. But yeah, that's a good one. Good undercard. I'm so happy to see Liam Cameron get a good fight. Fair play to Channel 5 and Wasserman getting on with Lyndon Arthur. He had a real stiff deal from UCAD and the British Boxing Board of Control. So to see someone like him and what he's been through in his personal life start getting good paydays, and I understand all this Saudi is bad for, but when you see someone like Nick Ball, who's had a couple of fights, had a world title, changed his family's life, someone like Liam Cameron, someone like Josh Padley coming up, the fact that they can do this, hopefully change their lives with one camp and one payday, rather than have to toil away like everyone else. I think it's great for boxing or those boxers. Good to see. Hopefully Liam Cameron pushes Ben Whittaker, because as talented as Ben is, and I get the idea of it's easy for Ben Whittaker to showboat against journeyman, but we've seen footage and we know that we know a teenage Ben sparring a vicious Felix Cash. So Ben's got a big pair of bollocks. So fighting someone like Liam Cameron, who will not shy away from putting it on him, it's a good fight. I'm looking forward to going. I think Chris Eubank deserves a lot of credit for getting the first easy touch-up fight off Turki Alalshikh.
I was going to say, sorry to cut you off there, but that's where I think out of that whole undercard where people have been critical, Eubank Jr. has taken a lot of the flack. And I think I think people's worries were that when he talks about his hit list and then you fight a guy like Kamil Strezmeta, are they right to have them concerns and them critics?
Like when Chris tells everyone he wants to be a world champion, but he never fought a lot of world champions like Janabek, who were always available, Adame, the Charlos. He didn't want a world title that much. Of course he wants to fight Canelo. I want to fight Canelo for the paid. It's silly. I do think when I think of all the fights Turkey's put on, he's more or less, no real disrespect to his opponent, but it's a tune-up fight, and Turkey says I don't do tune-ups, I don't like tune-ups. So I had a bit of a laugh with Chris when I got him on Zoom the other day, but you can only assume that means his next fight, Turkey won't be giving out easy ones. He's been given an easy one, so that the next one is sink or swim for him. So, and I do still think that the Canelo one is revisitable. And again, he's had a year out the ring, hasn't he? So I think he'll fight, and if he wins, he could fight 3 months later. So, I wouldn't. I'm not. I don't think there's too much uproar deserved for Chris's opponent for this one.
Where do you stand on your opinion of this card? Because I think if we had this 18 months ago, people would have been lapping it up and they would have been amazed by it. But now, I guess when you see the standard that Saudi Arabia put on, that does come with critics. Do you think it's right to be critical because of the Saudi standard, or it's we're getting a bit ungrateful here?
Who's critical of the card? Boxing fans on Twitter?
No, but I listen to a few podcasts and that of people who were quite critical of it. And No. But the card that the main ones, the Chris Eubank Jr. fight, the Jarpataya fight. I think the main critics that people take away is when they talk about 50-50 fights and they don't feel like on October 12th it's 50-50 fights and across the board. Apart from Wardy Clark, they don't really. A lot of people don't really see many of it.
Well, at the time, Breedis was a mad 50-50 fight, wasn't it? So the one that he had a few months ago was 50-50. I think if we're going to say, I have a real problem when people say the media, the boxing media. I said it in an Irish accent, not on purpose, but people need to start putting a name to who they're saying is being critical about it. If and I'm not having just a dig at you, mate, but when someone says that people are being critical of this undercard. Well, do you mean boxing fans, or do you mean one organisation or one outlet? Because I remember there was one outlet who kept saying that the atmosphere and the attendance in Saudi was rubbish, terrible atmosphere, it's terrible for the boxers. Then they got invited to one, got given a freebie. They've never mentioned it since, and that one they got to free was the worst one of them all. And I've been at them all. So, when people start criticising, the people that buy boxing tickets, that go to York Hall or go to Steffi Ball shows or Neil, the people that go to these shows aren't critical of it. The people that buy the pay-per-views, I don't think they would be critical of it. Bivol Beterbiev is a generational fight. It's an incredible fight. So the fact that that's happening, if you can tell me a name of someone who has been very, very critical of it, I reckon I could put two and two together and have a good reason why they're saying it. So, I don't also get the point of criticising shows before they happen, because I've definitely sat there and looked at shows and thought, cool, that don't look too good, and then I've been blown away by them, and by everyone, by Eddie, Frank, and Ben Zad touches. I don't understand sitting down and saying, oh, that card looks crap, because when it's not, if it turns into a barnstormer, suddenly you look like a knob. But to be fair, no one revisits it anyway. It's just. You can smoke a battery and say everything's crap, and then people watch it. So it doesn't matter, does it?
Of course, but yeah, as always, Wally, a pleasure speaking to you. We'll do. No, of course, no. But making me feel bad now. But yeah, mate, we're doing well. Yeah, I was going to say, Gillingham top of the league. I know you're not a fan, but can you see promotion for them this year?
There's a lot of talent down in Kent. We used to joke about with the Nugs brothers about trying to do a show at Maidstone, but you could take.
No, you could definitely do it. There's enough now. Yeah.
I'd imagine now Rico Itama's probably too big, but Carroll's still around, still boxing. There's enough Kent. That's an incredible pool of talent down there, isn't it? So yeah, Gillingham go out of division. I'm sure Francis Warren could pull a few strings, get all them Kent fighters on there, all the iBox gym fighters. I'd love to see it, mate. I do. I think it's great when they can go to football stadiums. They are expensive. I can't imagine the Selhurst Park one did very well for money, but when they do well, they're great. So let's take boxing to Gillingham, mate, and put Lewis Hart in the middle.
I'm the promoter. I want tickets. No, I won't mind.
Myself, I was going to bet all the critics.
I want ringside for that, mate. I want to be on Promoters Row. But as always, Wally, a pleasure to speak to you, mate. Really do appreciate it. And it's always good to get your opinions and your voice on boxing, mate.
Get your opinions on.
No, thank you, mate. Cheers.